What's up, everybody? It's Joe LaPuma from Complex. ComplexCon is right around the corner. We are back in Vegas. This year is going to be bigger and better. Over 300 brands, exclusive drops, 2 nights of headliners. Make sure you check out ComplexCon. Get those tickets, complexcon.com, October 25th and 26th. See you there.
I remember just waiting for the game to start. It was game 1, and I just saw he was just stretching in the tunnel, and I just started weeping. Not like tears, but like proper crying. Tears of like accomplishment, because this was the thing I wanted to accomplish my entire life.
What's up, everybody? I'm Matt Welty. We're here in Indianapolis with Tyrese Haliburton, Salehe Bembury, the Puma Hali ones. Here at your pop-up. This is the Hali Mart. This is crazy, right?
Yeah. It looks really good. Looks like very similar to the commercial spot we did. So
yeah, you had your face wrapped up.
Yeah. It looks really good. It did a lot of good stuff, and like I think there's some elements within here that you guys have yet to see that you'll understand more eventually. But it's really cool to see it all come to life here.
And just so I'm not exaggerating, in both of your opinion, how many people are lined up outside right now?
There's a good like 200 people outside right now. Yeah,
probably something like that.
I think more than that.
Oh, really? That was a guesstimate. I was trying to do it. I was trying to do it for the video.
How many do you guys think? Who's walked around? How many people do you think are out there?
260 as of right now, with an hour to go.
So like 300. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you think you're going to have that reaction to the shoes?
I saw a lot of positive comments through social media and stuff, so I assumed that there would be a decent amount of people here. And the more that the days have led here, I've got a lot of people who have come up to me and like, yo, I want to be at Hali Mart. And I think that it kind of built, and I've had like people like, oh, I'm taking my son out of school early to make sure that he can be there for it. So yeah, it's really cool to see.
And can you guys like recount the first time you met?
Yeah.
Should I go for it? Well, first, can I talk about this space?
Yeah, for
sure. So
sure.
we exist in a time now where we view everything through like a 3-inch screen. So I think what's special about this moment is that we are taking the campaign that everyone consumed through a screen, and then we're bringing them into the world. So they're going to get to consume Jalitos and buy some Tyrese tenders and meet this guy. So I think it's like really nostalgic to go back to a time where it wasn't about like digital assets and more. People are going to get to shake his hand, and that's really cool. And that reminds me of when I was a young NBA fan when I went to meet my favorite athlete.
Who was it?
My favorite athlete? I had a lot. I had a lot of favorite athletes. Yeah.
But the first time you guys met?
First time we met was in Indiana. It was a part of the pitching process because we were still trying to convince him that Puma and myself were the individuals to work with. And so it was really like when you meet anyone, you're kind of sizing them up and making sure they're legit. And just exchanging stories. And I think when we first met, it was kind of important that I made it clear what my intentions were with both his brand and with Puma, so that there was comfort and trust. The result of that is this beautiful space and these shoes that look pretty good with an extremely biased opinion.
Were you nervous at all? I mean, you're not traditionally like a sport designer when it comes to footwear, and you have to convince one of the NBA's biggest stars that you know how to design the perfect basketball shoe for him? Yeah,
so I think at the end of the day, it's about the success and collaboration. So I have a level of expertise that I am very outspoken and passionate about when I'm in a room, but then I get the advantage of working with the expert team that is Puma and Tyrese. And so with us collectively, we've been able to move mountains.
And what was your reaction the first time meeting Salehe?
Yeah, we had dinner at like my favorite restaurant here in Indy. The whole team came out, which was really cool. Previously, like when I was with a different brand, I had heard that like Puma would be interested, once I became available, and they came in full force, and we had a great meeting, great pitch. He brought like a 3D print of the, like he kind of had like an idea behind what he wanted to do, kind of the layout, and then I kind of said, I think that's whack, I like that, I like this, and we kind of collaborated together, and this is what you see here, and right away from the meeting, I could tell that we would get along really well. It'd be a pretty easy process, and all the people at Puma have been amazing, and that was like almost 12 months ago about that happened, and so for it to be a year for this to come to fruition is really cool to see, because it could definitely take some time, but we really went at it right away.
Were you familiar with Salehe's work and the Crocs and all of that?
Oh,
before?
for sure. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's hard not to be in the fashion space and not be familiar with Salehe. So the idea of being a part of kind of the first ever basketball creation with him, and for me to be a part of that as well, I think that really excited me, and that was something that was really cool that Puma brought in, and it just made the decision that much more easier.
Where was the starting point on the shoe? Because I feel like it's like a true collaboration between the two of you. Like I can see a lot of both of you in the shoe, where it's not just, it's your signature shoe, but it's also a signature shoe designed by you. So.
Yeah, I think, if you're a master chef and then you have to switch restaurants, you're going to feel extremely uncomfortable if they change your stove. So in this transition with him as an athlete, we had to make, you like that, right?
Yeah, that was good. That was nice. That was nice.
We had to make sure that we maintained, a lot of the attributes that he loved with his current shoe or his last shoe with what we were creating now. So it was about sitting down and aligning with what he liked aesthetically and functionally with the shoe, and then making sure that we exceeded that with this one.
What were the ideas that you brought to the table at first, where you're like, this is what I need, these are the non-negotiables?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you ask every single basketball player, they're probably going to give you the same answer, right? There's not a lot of design takes that people can give that are like different. Everybody just says you want to be comfortable and you want to be light, and then everybody else, that's like the main two things that every basketball player would say. I would say for me, coming to Puma, something that I wanted to do was just be able to create a silhouette that was different than everything else that Puma has created in the past, really. And I feel like that's something that we've done here, especially the first 3D print that we had the cat on the side, but as well as the form stripe.
Yeah.
And after talking, we were kind of like, what could we do that would be different that Puma hasn't really done before or hasn't done in a long time? And we just removed the form stripe completely, which I was really excited about because I feel like the cat kind of being so big and being able to be muted in different colorways, pop out in different colorways, that's kind of become like a staple, and I feel like that's something that I'll be able to continue in the evolution of my shoe. So that was something that we were really big on, and I feel like that kind of has made the shoe really pop in different colors.
Yep.
How'd you guys settle on the logo? Because I feel like it's daring to some regards.
Yeah, I think when I was coming to Puma, previously I had a logo that I kind of just had my homie make, like when I was in college, like a lot of people do. And talking with Salehe, we kind of, the way we had our conversation, he was kind of like, I think with you coming to Puma, we should do something different. You should do something completely different, kind of like a complete rebrand almost, right? Because a lot of people hadn't seen my previous logo, and it was something that he kind of pointed out to me. It was just like a lot of athletes these days do something that's so sharp and initial based, where it's like, I can tell I see a T and an H and that's really it. And it's very sharp. And so I found somebody who I really liked to design it. And we were like, what I kind of emphasized was doing something a little more abstract, creating a symbol that you really had to look at and, kind of has a life of its own. Now it's it's a symbol. It still has my initials, yes, but you kind of have to look more to really see it. And there's kind of some hidden meaning in it with the two circles representing Oshkosh, where I'm from, and I wear 0. So I think that's kind of the really cool story behind it. And I feel like it kind of really looks like a symbol more so than just letters,
And not only is it a logo for a sneaker, it's going to be a logo for a signature athlete, for a brand, and for a lifestyle. So it wasn't just about what could sit on a sneaker, it's about what could embody a completely new movement.
And also, it's a chain right now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's different ways that we've been able to implement it for sure. Hats, a bunch of different things, clothing, I'm sure coming soon.
Did you hit him up when you were getting the chain made? Did you?
I didn't tell him. Did I tell you?
No, I just saw it today.
He just saw it today.
Yeah.
First time seeing it. I got it yesterday, so I was like, this is the perfect time to wear it, yeah.
How much wear test did you put into the shoes, and how did you take the feedback on that, Salehe?
I think the primary wear test comment was us trying to achieve weight. Going back to the shoe that he was wearing with the previous brand, and the stove analogy, it was really important that he didn't feel any kind of bump in this transition from a straight utilitarian perspective, right? The shoe looks differently, but we needed to operate and at the same level or exceed the shoe that he was already wearing. So one of the fun stories that we have from wear testing is that, I wasn't there for this, but I was fascinated, was that he was blindfolded, talking about you like you're not here. He was blindfolded. His previous shoe was put in one hand, the Hali one was put in the other, and we asked him to identify what his previous shoe was. He chose the Hali, so that kind of was representative of us accomplishing our goal.
Yeah, my first wear test was in December, so yeah, there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people in that room for that. That was at Puma rented out some court in Boston and put up black sheets everywhere so people couldn't look in, and there was a bunch of shoes everywhere, and I put them on to go through a light workout. It was in between 2 games of us playing Boston, and I was begging Puma to let me wear them the next day because they just they felt so much better, and I really enjoyed wearing them. And so that was really my first wear test with them. I didn't have a ton of notes. There was a couple tweaks here and there, but by the time I got them back in my hand around playoff time, understanding that I was going to debut them if we got to the finals and start working on them it was everything that I had wanted from all my comments from the wear test in December.
What was that moment like wearing them in the finals, the Hibiscus colorway?
Yeah, it was special for me just because I think every kid grows up wanting to have their own shoe. And like going into the finals, all I could think was, you can't play like shit in your own shoe. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to come out and perform well. And so to see my shoe on the NBA floor and have that moment that I had in game one, to hit a game winner in my shoe, like I feel like I couldn't have wrote a better story.
And for you, Salehe, because I know, you've done a lot of big things in the culture, but to have a shoe in the centerpiece of the NBA Finals.
Designing basketball footwear is why I chose this profession.
Yeah.
My career has not taken me there in the last 15 years. I've gotten to do a bunch of other cool things. This was a massive, lifelong accomplishment. I thought that if I saw him like hit a three or dunk, I'd get emotional. I remember just waiting for the game to start. It was game one, and I just saw he was just stretching in the tunnel, and I just started weeping. Not like tears, but like proper crying.
Tears of joy, or
tears of like accomplishment, because this was the thing I've wanted to accomplish my entire life, and I even feel it like now a little bit, like the thing I wanted to accomplish my entire life, and it happened, through you. So thank you, Puma, and yeah.
Did you have any nerves though, like before the shoe was going to get unveiled on such a big?
Well, it'd been a conversation throughout the playoffs because the shoe was ready. You said you were asking for Boston. I was selfishly asking for the Knicks, and he was like, "No, I'm waiting for the finals." And like being a Knicks fan, I was like, "Okay," but he saw that, he saw the path, he saw the future, and then when it was game one, it was like it couldn't have been written better. Like I don't know if there's ever been a better launch of a sneaker ever, based on just circumstance and timing and atmosphere and all that stuff. So yeah, it was storybook shit.
Is there a friendly rivalry between the two of you, you being a Knicks fan and you being the...
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of banter that goes back and forth. He came to game...
I don't know.
He came to like game... I want to say game 4. No, it was game 3. He came to game 3. All Knicks gear, sat courtside. Yeah. People were like, "Yo, who's this motherfucker over there in the Knicks shit?" I'm like, "That's my guy." So yeah, there's definitely some banter back and forth. He was like, after we won the Eastern Conference Finals, he was like one of the first people I called to talk shit. So yeah, I think that's the great part of just being in the professional world. There's a lot of people who are from New York, and so like you meet a lot of people who are Knicks fans, and he happens to be a very big one. So yeah.
But then at the same time, I think it's important to acknowledge that while I am a Knicks fan and while that's in my blood, this is my career, different environment, different priorities, and I am focused on this guy right here.
Yeah.
So you can put this above the fandom?
I would say, 10 and a half months out of the year when it's not the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that's appropriate, yeah.
And why the Hibiscus colorway to debut?
Yeah, I think it has a lot of meaning. I think, so the wear test, the first pair I ever put on was the Hibiscus colorway. So that was important. One of my first ever basketball shoes were pink. Like where I'm from, I was like in 4th grade, I was known as like the kid with the pink shoes. So the fact that was like.
Was that a good or bad thing back then?
Back then, I thought it was cool because I was the only guy doing it. That was before everybody was like, pink shoes were like cool, like an in thing, right? And I was like kind of looked at it as like, he's different. Like, why is he doing that? But my pops loved it, so we just kind of ran with it. And I think that's a really cool part of the Hibiscus colorway and just my shoe in general. That was the debut colorway. It's in the pink, but also every shoe, it comes in a pink box. So it doesn't matter the colorway. You get the opals, when Hibiscus, all of them you get are going to come in a pink box. I think that's a really cool touch as well, because I feel like it's just an ode to my life and my basketball career. So it just felt like it was the right moment, and it kind of tied together my basketball career. And yeah, I thought it was a good decision.
Yeah, and then I remember, don't quote me on the amount of time, but like 10 years ago when the NBA changed the rules on sneakers having to match jerseys, it became like European football. Every player was wearing the most exaggerated colors and fluos and all this stuff. And now I think there's been a step taken back, and I think the Pantones and the color palettes that are used are they have a little bit more taste. So while we used pink, I think there are lots of different types of pink, and we tried to use a pink with a high taste level, if you will.
More muted.
Yeah.
And also, this is like kind of become a WWE sneaker too. Triple H, Cody Rhodes. I was watching college football the other day, and they like cut to WrestlePalooza, and you were just standing there like holding the shoe up.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I have a great relationship with WWE. Like Triple H and me are very close, so had to make sure he got a pair. And then with them being here in Indy and there happening to be a lot of shoes here in Indy, we made sure to get them to, my favorite wrestlers and guys that I've really been able to grow relationships with, and it's been cool. But I'm just excited for the first person to wear them in the ring. Like that, the way he's talking about weeping when he saw them on the big court, that might be how I feel when I see them in the ring.
What's that moment going to be like for you if you see the shoe in the WWE ring?
I think, honestly, seeing the shoe in any new environment is really cool because it's meant for the basketball court, but with the moments he has on the court, it spreads like a virus,
Yeah. And what can we expect next for the shoe? I'm sure you guys have big plans for it.
We are going to do some collaborations. We're going to play around with color. We're going to continue to invest in the nitro technology that is Puma's, and we are already working on the Hali 2. Am I allowed to say that? Too late. So yeah, we're investing in really turning this into a lifestyle brand that has many arms to it, and I'm really excited to continue to show the world what we're working on.
Yeah, just more, I would say, more variations in what we're doing. People know that on the court, I'm a guy who likes to. I never really wear the same color 2 games in a row, so you can assume that there will be a lot of different colors, like playing with material, flavors, and just like personal stories to me, like that's big as well. So playing with colors that have a big meaning to me, have a meaning to him as well as the designer, and I think just playing around with a lot of different things. So I'm excited for everybody to see what's in store.
Last question. Do you have the best signature shoe in the NBA right now?
I would say yes. Yeah,
Agreed.
I would. I'd argue with everybody about that. I definitely think so. Yeah, and I feel like the more people see different colors and different materials, us doing different things with them, no doubt.